Have you ever wondered what would happen if you got swallowed by a whale? It's a thought that might have crossed your mind while watching a whale breach the ocean surface in a documentary, or perhaps even while on a whale-watching tour yourself. This question, as absurd as it may sound, has sparked the curiosity of many, from the wide-eyed child to the seasoned marine biologist. Whales. These magnificent marine mammals are the behemoths of the ocean. They are the titans of the deep, some reaching lengths of up to 33 meters, equivalent to 3 double-decker buses lined up end to end. Their habitat is the vast open ocean, a world that remains largely unexplored and mysterious to us. They are not the monsters some folklore would have us believe, but rather gentle giants that feed mostly on tiny organisms such as krill and plankton. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, if whales feed on such small prey, how could they possibly swallow a human? Well, you're spot on. The throat of a blue whale, the largest of the species, is only about the width of a small beach ball, which makes it nearly impossible for it to swallow a human. But let's put reality aside for a moment. Let's suspend our understanding of the natural world and delve into the realm of the hypothetical. What if, against all odds, a whale did swallow you? What then? It's an unthinkable scenario, sure, but it's also one that captivates our imagination. It's a question that takes us on a journey into the unknown, a question that challenges our understanding of the world as we know it. So let's do it. Let's journey into the belly of the beast, metaphorically speaking. Let's unravel the mystery of what would happen if you, yes you, were swallowed by a whale. But remember, this is all hypothetical. After all, the chances of this happening are slimmer than a krill in a blue whale's diet. Now let's dive into the belly of the beast, metaphorically speaking, to explore what would happen if this unlikely event occurred. Imagine finding yourself in a whale's mouth. What would you see, feel, and experience? The interior of a whale's mouth is an expansive, cavernous space. It's like standing in the middle of a vast, fleshy cathedral, the walls of which are lined with baleen plates, massive, comb-like structures used for filtering food. As for size comparison, you'd be dwarfed, much like a tiny pebble in a giant's palm. The physical sensations would be overwhelming. You'd feel the squishy, wet tongue beneath your feet, the moisture in the air, the constant motion of the whale's muscles. The air would be thin, and you'd struggle to breathe due to the lack of oxygen. There would be pressure too, from the tons of water outside pressing against the whale's body. It would be a disorienting and terrifying experience, to say the least. But what if the whale decided to swallow? Could you survive the journey down? So you are now being swallowed by a whale. What happens next? Let's start by considering the whale's throat size. Despite the whale's enormous size, its throat is surprisingly narrow. Specifically, the throat of a blue whale, the largest whale species on Earth, measures only about 20 centimeters in diameter, just enough to allow the passage of its typical diet of krill and small fish. The throat of a whale is not designed to accommodate anything larger, certainly not a human. But let's say that somehow you've managed to pass this initial hurdle. You now find yourself in the whale's esophagus. Here, the walls are muscular and lined with a mucus layer, designed to transport food into the whale's stomach. The esophagus contracts rhythmically in a process known as peristalsis to push the food along. You, in this case, are the food. Imagine the immense pressure as the whale's esophagus contracts around you, squeezing you further down the tube. You'd be crushed by the force, a force far greater than anything a human body is built to withstand. And let's not forget about the lack of oxygen. Whales are mammals like us, and they breathe air. But inside the whale, air is at a premium. You'd quickly use up what little oxygen is available, and without a fresh supply, you'd lose consciousness within minutes. And then there's the mucus. It's thick, it's sticky, and it's everywhere. It would cover you, fill your mouth and nose, making it even harder for you to breathe. The journey down a whale's esophagus is fraught with peril. It's a hostile environment of crushing pressures, oxygen deprivation, and claustrophobic confines. It's a place humans are not meant to go, a place where survival is, quite frankly, impossible. By now, it should be clear that surviving a trip down a whale's gullet is highly unlikely. But what if, against all odds, you made it to the stomach? Now, welcome to the stomach of a whale. What would you encounter here? Imagine a cavernous, pulsating chamber filled with a noxious cocktail of digestive juices. This is the whale's stomach, an organ designed to break down tons of food every day. Its walls are lined with a thick layer of mucus, protecting the whale from its own corrosive stomach acids. But for a human, this protective layer would be no match against the potent brew of enzymes and acids, designed to dissolve even the toughest of squid beaks. You'd be in a world where the air is replaced by a toxic mixture of methane, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide gases. a byproduct of the whale's digestive process. Oxygen, the life-sustaining element we need, is conspicuously absent. Breathing would be an impossible task, and even if you had scuba gear, the supply wouldn't last forever. The heat is another factor to contend with. The whale's stomach is a warm environment, the temperature hovering around 37 degrees Celsius, the same as the human body. But without the ability to regulate your body temperature, hypothermia would soon set in. Then there's the crushing pressure. Deep within the whale, you'd be subjected to forces several times greater than at sea level. Every square inch of your body would feel the weight, making movement difficult if not impossible. The sensation would be akin to being slowly digested, which in essence is precisely what would be happening. The stomach acids would begin to break down your body, starting with the skin, then the muscles, and finally, the bones. A gruesome end, indeed. So, as fascinating as this journey is, it's clear that being swallowed by a whale would be a one-way trip. But remember, the chances of this ever happening are astronomically low. So, keep enjoying the ocean's wonders without fear.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. That's all for Nifty Narration.